What happened to Aston Martin? This was a team that many considered, myself included, to be the second best racing team in Formula One. They started off with 3 podiums with Fernando Alonso, and then got more. Got another 3. 2 second places, 1 at Monaco, 1 in Canada. And they even said that there was a technical issue on Alonso's car that made him unable to at least attempt to hunt down Max Verstappen for victory. Now, I believe he probably would have gotten close, and then maybe Verstappen really would lay the hammer down because he was just cruising to victory. But at least that would have been an option. Now, the last 3 results for Fernando Alonso, 5th, 7th, 9th. And Lance Stroll's just been lagging around, 9th, 14th, and 10th. Now, this could be attributed to a lot of things. First of all, a lot of the other teams have been putting in upgrades. The McLaren upgrades have been totally mega. But is it a sense of Fernando Alonso not being challenged? Even the greatest Formula One drivers, if they don't have somebody next to them that can put in the right result, it's not going to motivate them. We saw this with Vettel at Ferrari when Kimi couldn't do anything. It doesn't really affect really good drivers like Verstappen or Hamilton, because when you're in the best car and you're number one no matter what, it doesn't really affect you. But when you're in the middle pack, the top to second pack that they were in, you need someone by you. Iron sharpens iron. You need someone like that. We've seen the same thing with Charles Leclerc. This is a guy who has immense skill, immense talent, but he has a guy next to him that not doesn't care, but just can't get it done. And that's what's happening in Formula One. Guys who are number one drivers in teams that are okay to good, not having the people next to them that should compete with you that makes you better. And this is happening with Aston Martin. Now, could the pace fall off also be that since the upgrades of the other team, they haven't upgraded as well and they don't know what to do? That could be it. Are other teams gathering in more data that they are not and using it effectively? That could also happen. But it just doesn't make any sense that they would fall off this hard. They were at one point the second fastest team. A lot of those third places, he was behind Sergio Perez. So Fernando Alonso was the 3rd fastest driver. If he can't put in the results, you damn know well Lance Stroll isn't putting in the results. And it's kind of odd considering that Aston Martin put in huge investments for this season and for the foreseeable future. Is this a slump? Are they going to return back to form? The only problem is if they return back to form, can they be as fast as the McLarens? It just doesn't seem likely at this point. So, will Aston Martin find their position back in Formula One? I don't know. Can they? Will they drop even further back? Because it doesn't even seem like they're in contention with fighting, the Alpines. The Alpines right now are right by them. You have the Williams knocking on their door constantly. If Albon had any bit of a better car, he'd be able to pass Lance Stroll. But it doesn't seem like they have the juices flowing together right now to get it done. Fernando Alonso still, I do believe, is one of the best drivers in Formula One. If this continues, he's one of those guys that kind of spirals down. He has like a negative opinion of stuff. When things aren't going right, he doesn't essentially keep them going in the the correct precision and direction. Now, do you get rid of Lance Stroll and put in someone next to him that can actually battle with him to make the car and the team more effective? Should Fernando Alonso be going side by side with these engineers, inspiring them? You got to remember the Formula One greats of the past, Michael Schumacher, Ayrton Senna, okay? They had relationships with the people who worked around them. They knew everything about their families. They would go in there and give them speeches. Or is Alonso not a speech type of guy? Is he more of an introvert and a diva like we've seen in the past? That is true. A lot of people don't seem to like him. But the thing about Alonso is his personality has changed so much this year. For so many seasons, he was in teams that just didn't have it together. He'd be negative. But every time you saw him on the podium, it was just a smile, just a big smile ear to ear. And he was so happy and so proud of that team. He needs to inject that confidence back into them. Sometimes when the team doesn't do well, the driver can get in their ear and get it done. And when the driver's not doing well, sometimes the team can coalesce around them. That's much harder because if you don't have a driver who's confident, it doesn't matter what car that you put them in. But Alonso should take this reign. He's a man in his 40s. A lot of these guys around him could be his son. They're so young. If he gets in their ear, this is a guy who has 2-time champion, okay? He's with the team. He's doing things that Vettel got, I think, 1 podium. So they believe in him. And if he can get in that garage and inspire people to do the work on his car that he wants them to get done, he could really raise the bar here. And he has to do it because we're in a situation right now where he had a bunch of podiums, and now he has 3 times where he didn't have podiums, and they weren't even not podiums. They were like going backwards, not even towards a 5th or 6th. So he needs to address this now with the team. Are we putting in upgrades? What can I do right now so we at least can still believe we can get to a podium? And then whatever Grand Prix we are introducing the upgrades again at, then we'll have confidence that those upgrades will put us even higher up into the podium position. At one point, it was believed that if Max Verstappen didn't win a race and Sergio Perez was playing catch-up, which he always seems to have to do after he qualifies 15th or 20th, Fernando Alonso could have been the guy to break the streak for Red Bull. But now it just seems like he's going backwards. I don't know. If you have an opinion on this, please let me know below. If there's any other factors you believe is really pressing this negative energy and negative results at Aston Martin. Also, subscribe to us and like the channel so we can grow this and grow the community as well. Thank you.